Time now for weather with Nebraska Extension ag climatologist and Market Journal chief meteorologist Al Dutcher. Al, I think it's safe to say much of the state is dealing with a big chill. How's the end of January looking for us?
Well, Troy, you're correct. It looks like the cold air is going to basically hang in here for at least through the end of the month, possibly just a little bit longer. I'm almost nervous to make this forecast after last week's fiasco. The models actually were showing more of the storm on Saturday than they were our little event that we had earlier this week that dropped some pretty significant snowfall across portions of south central and southeast Nebraska along with the freezing drizzle. We did see some cool conditions come in during the Thursday time frame. We've seen a little bit of relief yesterday. We'll see some relief this weekend before once again the polar Arctic air moves into our region. So let's take a look at the upper air model. And here we are today with that cold air that is going to be moving over the Great Lakes. Right, coming down the pipeline, we have a northerly flow, but at the surface we have a southerly flow, so we're still seeing some warming. Here's a little surface low that will bring the first wave of energy through our region. That's going to slide to the southeast and clip northeastern Nebraska. So we're going to see a lot of little light flurry activity out to the north and to the east of us, and maybe some of that overspread in eastern Nebraska. And then we start to see a more northwest-southeast flow across the state, bringing a little bit chillier air in, particularly as we get into Sunday night, as here's that low pressure system that will move rapidly toward the southeast, bringing some very Arctic air into our region. Brutal temperatures for the start of the week. You can kind of see on Monday we have this deep trough here. We're going to be looking at sub-zero lows across portions of eastern Nebraska and much of the upper Midwest. As low pressure will drive a pretty potent storm system across the lower Great Lakes region, we'll see a little bit of flurry activity in our region, and then we will see an even deeper troughing action as we get into Tuesday morning. That's probably going to be the coldest of this period as we have a straight north flow in the upper atmosphere coming to the south. High pressure moving in from the northern plains is going to keep us cool, but the main activity really remains to the east of us with a very significant storm system that's going to move up the eastern seaboard once again. Now as we get into Wednesday, we're going to start to see some relaxation. We have one more battle of high pressure to move through the region if the models are correct, and then we'll start to see this all area slide toward the southeast. So a little bit of flurry activity would not be out of the question, but there's just no moisture with the source coming from the north. And as you get on the day Thursday, you can start to see that we have a northwest to southeast flow. It's a little bit milder conditions. Surface lows are indicated to start to develop in North Dakota and across to southeastern Colorado. There's just not a lot of moisture to feed this system, so most of the activity will remain to our north. And as we get in the day on Friday, we're going to start to see some ridging as we have another trough in the west starting to build in. So it looks like we're going to see our ridging pattern kind of shift a little bit toward the east. The trough to the east of us is going to break down. We're going to start to see some precipitation move into the western United States, and this bears watching because right now it does appear that this system will take a southeasterly movement and then start to swing out into the central plains, particularly as we get into next weekend, which could bring some pretty potent weather, not next weekend, the following weekend. So we'll keep an eye on this because it looks like February may start out pretty nasty. In terms of the 8 to 14 day forecast, next week, the following Tuesday, takes into consideration the cold shifting to our east and the warm moving into our region. In terms of precipitation, most of it to our north. So Troy, it does look like we've got to bear through about 4 or 5 days of cold weather. We start to see some moderation as we get toward the end of next week and potential for some significant weather the week after that.